Hello and welcome back to the Fantasy Fitness Network. Appreciate you guys tuning in to the channel. We got a good show lined up for you guys today. We'll be doing a Pit Bull and a BBM, and we'll kind of see where we're at in time. Maybe we can get a third draft in. Just kind of have to see how it goes. Let's go ahead and hop on over here to Underdog. And got a whole bunch of tournaments out here right now. Of course, we have BBM, Eliminator, Slow Puppy, Corgi's about to wrap up, Big Dog and Mastiff for the high rollers. Dalmatian 3 is out. That's the $1 draft. And then we've got the Puppy 3 and the Pit Bull. We're going to go ahead and do the Pit Bull. This is a 10 entry max time box tournament. It's $20 per entry. And the way that the advancement structure works on this is pretty aggressive here in the first round, 2 out of 12. But if you make it through your first pod, finish in the top 2, when you get repotted, you only have to finish first out of 6 in your second pod and first out of 5th in your third pod. So that's pretty cool. That's like, that's a nice advancement structure. And then the best part is you're in a small final here, relatively small final, 156 seat final. And payouts also pretty damn nice. So $100,000 to first, $50,000 to second, $25,000 to third. So I really enjoy this tournament. I've got 5 left. So we'll go ahead and start today's stream with a Pit Bull. And again, this is time boxed, so we don't have the same game theory when it comes to guys like Malik Neighbors, who, in a BBM, you may have been getting in the 4th. Now he's going at the 2-3 turn. Everything kind of resets. So we have to keep that in mind when we're drafting in a time box tournament of this nature. We're waiting for 1. So anyone who wants to get in, you got a small chance of getting in if you're not already. But we'll go ahead and get a little background music on here and get this going. Appreciate you guys all stopping by. Happy Friday. You made it through the week. All right. We are ready to rock and roll. We'll be drafting out of the 6 hole for this one. Good spot on the board. Middle, middle's interesting. You get, obviously you get access to fallers from either direction. You can pull players up. I think it's a little bit less challenging than the bookends, but really it depends on what the other players in the room are doing. So anyways, from the 6, this is a good spot to get CMC, St. Brown, JSN, depending on what the other folks in the room want to do. All right, we have 10 seconds until this puppy kicks off, or this Pit Bull, I guess, if we're going to be specific about our dogs here. All right, we are ready to go. And we will see how this one plays out. After I do this Pit Bull, I think I'm going to do a BBM today. So we'll just see. I've got a little bit of time. Family's out at the pool, so nice and quiet here at the house. Got it all to myself. All right, we're going to go ahead and take JSN on the fall here. Thought it would be McCaffrey, but I'm happy to take some JSN in the Pit Bull too. I mean, I've only done 5 of these. I have Gibbs, Chase, St. Brown, Lamb, and I can't remember who the other one is, but happy to get a share of JSN here. All right, after JSN, we have Taylor go off at 7. It's kind of interesting. I mean, these two had flipped, but, you know, in like the general ranks, maybe this is because Taylor signed the big agreement yesterday, the new contract. Who knows? Normally I'm seeing St. Brown there at 7, but in this case, we have Taylor go off at 7, St. Brown at 8. Barkley gets pulled up to 9, Cook at 10. And then we'll see how the rest of this first round plays out, see if there's any surprises. If you guys are new to the channel, I just want to say thanks for stopping by. Appreciate the support. If you're not already following us, you can find us out there on YouTube at Fantasy Fitness IO. You can see it right there next to my name. Head out there to YouTube if you haven't already and smash that subscribe button. And if you want to be notified when we're going live, you can hit the bell. If you like the content, hit us with a like. We got Paulino in the house. What's up, Paulino? Always good to see you in here. Appreciate you stopping by. Keep me on my toes. All right, 2 away. Again, if you're coming in late, this is the Pit Bull. We're going to start this stream with a Pit Bull. We'll do a BBM today. And then depending on time, you know, we might squeeze in one more after that. Alrighty, 1 away here. I would be fine with either of these guys up here at the top. HN goes, so we'll start this. We'll we'll grab Drake London here. Double by week 11. I don't care. This is an eliminator. But I like this start. Pull up Drake London a little bit. I'm kind of just going off my ranks here. But I do like Drake London this year. I think he's a smash. He's been a smash for a couple of years. But, you know, last year we were taking him at the 1-2 turn. Now we're getting him in the mid to back half of the second. Seems like a reasonable bet. I'm going to go ahead and make that click pretty often. I do have him on one of my other Pit Bull 2s, but happy to accumulate more. Could have went Bowers there. Could have pulled up Neighbors. I don't know. There's a lot of different ways you can play that, but I'm happy with Drake. After that, Neighbors immediately goes at 20. I think that's a fair price given how he's been doing in training camp. Brown at 21, Bowers at 22, and then Nico and Devonta Smith up here at 24 in the second round. It's a little rich. I mean, I have taken him at the 2-3 turn before. I prefer taking him kind of here in the mid third, and I'm not taking him over George Pickens. That's for sure. But maybe, you know, this guy just wants to get unique. It's fine. Here we could grab Rashi. We could take Trey McBride or Olave. Those would be my preferences. Amika. Okay. Let's see. Why don't we grab Rice? I think that's a decent price, mid-third for Rice. Seems fair. Getting him on a 5-pick fall. I don't take a ton of Rashi, but this is when I do take him. If he's falling into like the mid-third, you can get me to make that click. It's tough with McBride right there. Obviously, if Rice was off the board, I think McBride would have been an easy click. But we'll take Rice on this one, do kind of a 0 RB light start here. Quick recap for our audio listeners. We have drafting from the 6 hole. We got JSN on a slight fall. Followed that up with Drake London at 19 and came back and got Rashi Rice here at pick 30. We'll be picking again at 43 and then again at 54. Other surprises here in the third, I think Zay getting pulled up to 27, although I respect it. I like Zay this year, kind of anywhere in the third. This guy's getting the week 17 game stack, and he's grabbing Bowers. He'll probably hit the running backs here in rounds 4 and 5, where there's some pretty good value. So I like this start for the 3-hole. 2, this is also good. You get Bijan, kind of a hero build here. You grab Nico and Pickens. This is a good price on Pickens, in my opinion. So I like that. I like how that draft is going as well. Those are the 2 that kind of stand out at this point. We've got the Waddle in round 3 now. I'm seeing that more. I don't know if I can get there. Like, I understand like early round 4, but round 3, Jalen Waddle, I don't know. That just feels a little rich. All right, we'll see what comes back to us here. ADP has it Allen at the top, followed by ETN and Luther Burden. I've got ETN here at the top of my ranks and top of ADP, so I'm going to go ahead and grab ETN. I think on a start like this where you go 3 wide receivers, you get Travis Etienne, and I get the week 17 game stack here with Drake London. Not game stack, sorry, but 1v1 week 17 matchup. Maybe we can stack it up. I think this is a better position on the board to get Shuck. I had done it where, where I've gotten like Olave over here, or I've pulled up like Drake London a little bit and gotten ETN in this range. And then it's tougher to get Shuck down here because you either have to take him at 212 or he's got to fall to 129. Here there's a higher chance that we're gonna get Shuck at 126. So if we wanted to stack him up, let's say we get some other pieces or we want to go for a full game stack there, it's more manageable here. I do like the running backs in this range. I think I would prefer Monty. What up, Hartman? Good to see you in here, buddy. Yeah, I've heard the bad practice reports about Rashee Rice as well. And I mean, I guess that's to be expected a little bit. He was in jail. So there's that. Let's grab Bucky here. Stay in the NFC South. There's always a plethora of points to be had down here in the NFC South. So we'll grab Bucky here at 54. And kind of just going back to your point about Rashee, there was that like clip of him running like a deep post route and him looking all lumbering and slow. And I'm not even really putting much weight into that, honestly, because that's not his game. I don't even think he really runs post routes. He's kind of a scammy wide receiver to begin with because he's got such a low ADOT. The whole thing with Rashee Rice is he's a yak monster. He takes like the short crossers, but he adds 10 yards of yak or 20 yards or takes it to the house or whatever. So, I take that with a grain of salt. He's not my favorite click by any stretch. This is, again, like when I will take him when he's kind of falling here. But in terms of, Rashee Rice running post routes, those types of longer ADOT routes, I'm just kind of ignoring it, to be honest with you. That being said, I'm underweight Rashee. I don't take him a lot, but I will mix him in. All right, we are coming up here on pick 67. We'd be looking here probably at a wide receiver, or we could grab one of these elite quarterbacks. We could grab Tyler Warren here. I like Warren. Marv. Tyson would be intriguing here because if we grab Tyson, that gives us 2 New Orleans pieces and then work that Shuck working that Chuck piece. So we'll see if Tyson makes it back. If he does, he's interesting to me here. Obviously, you have Daniels as an elite, or May or Hurts. Tyson goes, so he's off the table. All right, one pick away. Kind of thinking about what I want to do here. All right, Daniels goes. We could just take like Drake or Hurts, but or Marv. It's tough. Let's grab Marv. I think that's reasonable. We'll grab Marv here at 67. Early investment here in wide receiver. Again, let me recap this team for you guys real quick. We are through 6 rounds, from the 6 hole, 0-2-4-0, no quarterbacks, running backs, Travis Etienne and Bucky Irving, wide receivers, JSN, Drake London, Rashee Rice, and Marv. And then we are picking again here at 68. So 68, if we're looking here at ADP, we'd be in the Tony Pollard, Ramondre Stevenson, DK Metcalf, Tucker Kraft sort of range there. I was thinking, Hurts would be kind of interesting there. I don't normally pull Hurts up. I kind of like it more when he falls or comes into the 7th here. But I have been just warming up to him in general. I know he's like not the greatest, pure football player, but from a fantasy perspective, his rushing upside, his goal line, his touchdowns around the goal line, right? They still do the tush push and all that fun stuff. So I don't know. I've been warming up to him a little bit more. I'd prefer it if I had like a Devonta Smith, some sort of stacking partner, maybe some San Francisco pieces. So I'm happy with this pick. We'll see what comes back. Maybe we clip one of these running backs. If not, we'll probably get them on the wraparound. And here we'd be looking at, I don't know, DK, Jaden Reed, Tucker Kraft, something like that. All right, one pick away. I mean, we have Caleb here, but there's just not... Okay, Caleb goes. I think here... I think I'm actually going to pull up Sutton here. And the reason for that is I want to maybe open up a Bo Nix stack. I could have gone Reed and then kind of opened up Jordan Love, but I like Bo Nix more. He'll be kind of in that range around pick 100. He also falls to that 11th or 12th round, I think it is. 10th round. 10th round, yeah. So, I don't know. We'll keep an eye on that. But with what happened with the run there on the running backs, wide receiver made sense. Kraft was gone. So it's just kind of a preference. Do you like Metcalf? Do you like Reed? Downs? I could have pulled up Chris Godwin too. That would have been interesting, and stacking up like Tampa Bay pieces. We'll see. Here we are in the running back range. We could double stack Broncos running back or Broncos and get like an RJ Harvey. We could get Blake Corum and kind of play into that week 17 Rams Tampa Bay game. That's on the table. I think those would probably be the preferences. I like Chuba as well, like at this new price. I didn't like him when he was going around those other guys, but now that he's been repriced, I have been clicking a bit more Chuba. We do have week 17 correlation here with JSN. And at 91, that's interesting. So I think it's one of these 3 wide receivers or running backs, excuse me. It's just a question of which ones are there and which one we want to go with. All right, 1 pick away. Harvey goes. Okay, so it's Quorum for like the Week 17 Tampa game, or we grab Chuba. I think in this case, I'll take Chuba. I know there's just a lot of hate floating around now, but maybe it's gone just a little too far. And, as much as, the hype around Brooks is building, like, let's not forget, like, the guy has played, I don't know, 10 NFL snaps or something like that. I could be exaggerating, but he's played in like 1 or 2 games. It's kind of crazy, right? And now we're pulling him up into like the 70s. So I don't know. I'm a little, I'm kind of buying the fall here on Chuba when he's in like the 90s. I think I got him at like 97 yesterday or something like that. It was just, it's a little absurd at this point. So, we react to the markets, right? Like, if these guys are stocks and we're trading stocks in the stock market and you fundamentally like a player and the price moves, then you should get it on the cheap, right? Get it at a better price. Buy low, sell high. Isn't that how it works? So Bo Nix is the target here. We'll see if he comes back. I got to get past Waddle. Where's Waddle at? Oh, he was over here on the corner. Yeah, so I guess this guy could stack up Bo Nix and Dobbins. But these guys all have like kind of, elites. You consider this an elite. The Dobbins stack, I don't know. That feels a little... I guess he does have the correlation here with Hendo. So we'll see what he does with that. Maybe he backstacks Nix. I have him higher in my ranks, so he's a little bit further down. So I don't know. We'll see what this guy decides to do. Yeah, he goes Fannin. So we're gonna go Bo Nix. I mean, Jackson Dart is out here. That's interesting. But I'm gonna go Bo. A little bit of a homer pick here as a Broncos fan, but gotta mix it in. I don't think it's egregious. It's not like I've got 25% Bo Nix or something. Let's see. Paulino says Rashi is a manufacturer touch guy. Yeah, I mean, 100%. And, if they stop scheming things to him, then his, the whole thing could just crumble like a house of cards. So he is a riskier pick in that range. And then in terms of Chuba, I like what Paulino says here. He says, yeah, Chuba's a good value now. So, we waited, we got patient. I mean, I did take him a little bit early in BBM and it wasn't a lot. I think I had 2 or 3 teams with him. And then I kind of stopped, figured something like this would happen with Brooks staying healthy. And now, I'm back in and the pricing is good. Let me recap this team for you guys real quick from the 6 hole. Again, if you're tuning in late, you're watching a Pit Bull 2. We have a 1-3-5-0 Bo Nix at quarterback, stacked up with Cortland Sutton. Running backs, Travis Etienne, Bucky Irving, and Chuba Hubbard. Wide receivers, JSN, Drake London, Rashee Rice, Marv, and Cortland Sutton. We have Week 17 correlation here with Seattle and Carolina, and New Orleans and Atlanta. Some divisional correlation here with Kansas City and Denver. Yeah, and we have a single stack cooking at the moment. All right, 2 picks away. Shuck goes. Dog. He pulls him up too. I wasn't going to pull him up there. If anything, I'll take Jackson Dart here on the fall at pick 115. Happily. Is this the Neighbors drafter? No, Neighbors is to my right. Sorry, buddy. Oh, he goes. Damn it. All right, let's grab... I guess let's just take Rashad White here. I think he's a fine click in this spot. He's been falling some. We'll grab him here at pick 115. Rashad White, welcome to the team. The JCM hype is real. Let's see, where did JCM gets pulled up to 108. So I guess, I don't know, maybe that's just this guy's on the edge and he knows he's not getting him back, so he pulls him up. But I have been seeing a lot of JCM in like the 110s or earlier. I've seen him as high as like pick 98. So there's definitely some JCM hype that's been brewing. So White's been getting cheaper. They've kind of flipped, and at that point, I'll take some more White. Coming back here, we could go Baker and stack him up with Bucky and then try to get some back stacking pieces. We could get into this tight end market. We could kind of consolidate into Kansas City here and grab Kelsey at 126. If he's still there, I think that's a decent price. I like Dalton Kincaid this year as well. And, okay, Mayfield goes. Okay. Gainwell gets cleared out. I think here with the way that this build is shaping up, let's grab Kelsey. I think this is a reasonable price on Kelsey, and we're kind of just buying the Kansas City passing attack at this point. We have Kelsey and Rashi. It's got a little ring to it. All right, let's recap the team. We have a 0-1-5-1 at the moment. Quarterback, Bo Nix. We have running backs, Travis Etienne, Bucky Irving, Chuba Hubbard, and Rashad White. That's an eclectic bunch, but we have 3 pieces here coming out of the NFC South where, you know, there's a lot of points that are scored, good weather, domes. So always enjoy that. And then we tack on Rashad White here. Get him at a fall here at pick 115. Again, he's been flipping JCM, so as his price gets cheaper, I'm buying more. Wide receivers, JSN, Drake London, Rashee Rice, Marv, and Cortland Sutton. I think that's a really strong 5. This could even shape up as like a 3-6-6-3 type of build, which I don't do a ton of, but this one may call for that. I think, man, I wanted Sam Darnold there. We're probably going to have to get into this quarterback market here. Just it got heavy right in here. So yeah, I could have taken Mahomes here at 91. That would have been interesting. But let's see what the guys to the right, there's only one. So I think I will have to make a selection here at quarterback. The question is, which one do I want? I think I'm going to go... I mean, I could push it and then get like Bryce Young and stuff, but I don't know. That's kind of gross. This price on Goddard, though, is really good, too. Let's just go Daniel Jones. I think in this range, he's got like the most rushing upside, can kind of be a standalone piece. Maybe we can... There isn't a lot of backstacking with him, but it's fine. Even if he's unstacked, I don't hate it. We're definitely going to add a third on this build without question. And I mean, we could have gone Goddard there, but we come into a pretty decent range here on tight ends. So I figured the quarterback was more important there than the good value on Goddard. Here we can continue on with our New Orleans bet. We wouldn't have Shuck, but if we wanted to, we could still, you know, basically continue our bet in that offense. We could grab like a bring back piece here with Hunter Henry. I think that would be interesting if he's there. These would probably be my primary targets. But then even Strange, you know, he's a piece of our with Washington here with White. And then, okay, Chig goes. So Chig is no longer available. I think what I want to do here is try to get Hunter. I think that would make sense. Hunter or Strange, I'd be fine with either. I think we'll have a good chance of getting one of them back. We could also take the fall on Stroud and then try to backstack him with like Schultz and Noel and those guys, but okay, Hunter Henry goes. Let's go Jawan. Yeah, let's go Jawan. We'll take him here. Kind of continue our game stack. What might become a game stack if we get either Tua or I get, you know, maybe we don't get the quarterback, but right now we have ETN and Jawan with Drake London bring back. That's kind of cool. Here we'd be looking at like Bryce Young. I mean, it wouldn't be the best stack because it's just with Chuba. Maybe we wait and get like a Tua. I don't know. That's another option. Let's just see what the board gives us here on the way back. Interesting build. I don't mind it. It's just interesting. All right, let's do a quick recap of this team for audio listeners. So through 13 rounds, Pit Bull 2 from the 6 hole, 2-4-5-2, Bo Nix and Daniel Jones. Running backs, Travis Etienne, Bucky Irving, Chuba Hubbard, and Rashad White. Wide receivers, JSN, Drake London, Rashee Rice, Marv, and Cortland Sutton. Tight ends, Travis Kelce and Jawan Johnson. If we want to go quarterback here, it's, you know, unless Stroud makes it back, it'd be Bryce. We'd get a little correlation and we'd get a game stack here with JSN as a bring back. We could, I'm just looking at the board. It's kind of gross here. We could grab, you know, pull up like a tight end, but I don't see a reason to do that. Yeah. I think it's probably Bryce or Stroud if they make it back. What does this guy have? Seeing if there's any like Coker pieces. This guy's got Tet. So we'll see if he chooses to add on Bryce. He does. Okay. So we're probably looking at like Tua at this point, or we get like a Brissett to stack up with Marv. This is gross. This is a gross range. All right, I'm just going to take the fall here on Gadsden. We'll add him as our third, and we can stop at 3. We get, you know, we get kind of some pieces of that Kansas City Chargers game. And at this price, I mean, 154, you know, he falls to pick 163. We can stop here now at tight end, focus on these other position groups. There just really wasn't anything else there that I had to have or really cared for. So top of ADP, we just kind of took the easy way out. I think in this spot, we'd be looking at another running back. I like either Sampson. That would be some correlation with Cleveland, or we could just kind of continue our Seattle bet here and grab like Sharbs. think as a 5, I'd be fine with that with Sharps. I'm also good with Samson. So we'll see what's left for us there. I think that's probably the way to play it. And then we come back and get like Tua on the way back. Not the way back, but we'll get him in like the 180s, 190s, somewhere in there. I don't love that quarterback room, but it is what it is. We kind of just, I wasn't predicting that Shuck was going to get pulled up to 112 or whatever. Right, now the question here is, do we like Samson or Sharps more? I think it's pretty close. I've got Samson 1 ahead in my ranks. He's healthier. So let's just stick to the ranks and we'll grab Dylan Sampson here at pick 174, add him as our 5th. It is correlated with Daniel Jones. I'm not doing it for that reason, to be clear, but it just, it's just the way it is. So we will grab Samson there, and here on the way back, we're looking at Tua. I need a 3rd. I don't want to like blow up this build, so I'm taking him no matter what. I think, did Brissett go? He must have, right? I know Jacoby's still out there too. So we do have Jacoby as an option as well. I would be fine grabbing Jacoby. The reason I lean Tua is because that's stacking up with like, one of my premium assets on this team. I guess there is a risk that Tua is not the starter. I think Brissett's probably a better bet in that sense, that, he's more likely the starter. Now, will he be the starter week 17 when it's the money weeks? I don't know. That's, that's interesting. Now, do I want to risk grabbing I should grab probably another wide receiver here because we're in a nice range, and then hope we get one of those guys back. I mean, there's 4 quarterbacks on the board, so I think it's reasonable to assume that risk. But we are stepping into, a side where these guys have been, they might be trying to get their 3rd. It's pretty light on some of these builds here. So maybe I do have to take the quarterback. But there's 4, right? Gino goes, so there's 3. I'm looking at these wide receivers and I don't love any of them, so maybe I will just take Brissett here and stack him up with Marv. Let's just do it. I don't want to risk it. 5 picks near ADP. That is a funky ass quarterback room, but maybe it'll work. You never know. Seen crazier things in best ball. Yeah, because we come into guys like Pat Bryant, right? I'd rather like stack out Pat Bryant here with Bo. We could get like the rookie Ted Hurst if we wanted to consolidate into that Tampa. He's been getting a little bit of buzz in camp. So this guy takes Pat Bryant. He's just doing the Broncos thing. At that point, I would say let's grab Jerry Jeudy if he's there. He's slipping here to the 190s. See if he makes it back. If not, Tank, Ridley. It's kind of ugly. I'll queue up Troy Franklin for later. I mean, at this price for Jerry Jeudy, I don't click a lot of them, but ADP of 179, we're getting him at 198. I'm definitely gonna take that. Maybe we do end up with 7 because I could see myself clicking like Troy Franklin here at the end. So let's see what comes back to us. We could grab a 6th running back, but at this point it's thinned out so much, there's just really nothing here. So don't see a reason to force that. Haven't heard much buzz about Troy Franklin in camp, to be honest with you. But I don't know. He had a decent year last year. Just looking for a spike week. News yesterday was that, he's getting fewer opportunities in camp. So, I don't know. He's a riskier click, no doubt. I don't need the double, so I don't have to force that. But it's kind of between him. If we wanted to grab Ted Hurst, I would be okay with that too. He's been getting some buzz. We'll see if he makes it back. As a 7th, when you start off this strong though, you're just kind of looking for a spike week. And so maybe you do want that spike week with your stack. Tampa Bay does need an X though. They definitely do. All right, we go we go Hurst or Franklin? I think that's the question here. Maybe we do just go Hurst. Let's do Hurst. Take some rookie upside, and we'll kind of pair him up with Bucky. Grab our rookie at the end. Why not? He has been getting a little bit of buzz. Big body guy. Could be a factor in the red zone. Let's review this team real quick. So from the 6 hole, we end up with a 3-5-7-3. Comes out as follows. We have Bo Nix, Daniel Jones, and Jacoby Brissett. Running backs, Travis Etienne, Bucky Irving, Chuba Hubbard, Rashad White, and Dylan Sampson. I think that's a decent bunch there. Wide receivers, JSN, Drake London, Rashee Rice, Marv, Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, and Ted Hurst. And then tight ends, we have Travis Kelce, Jawan Johnson, and Aronde Gadsden. In terms of week 17 stacks correlation, we have Bo Nix stacked up with Cortland Sutton, just a little single stack here. And we do not have any New England pieces for the bring back. And we have an unstacked Daniel Jones here. We were going to get trapped kind of at quarterback there. So we needed to make a quarterback selection. We took him. He had kind of has the most rushing upside in that range. Was legitimately balling last year before he tore his Achilles. So going to kind of buy back into his performance and where he left off. Probably won't be as mobile, obviously, the start of this year with the Achilles injury, but everything's looking like he is going to be starting week 1. And then we do get Jacoby Brissett here, and we stack him up with Marv. No bringbacks with the Raiders, but that's fine. And then other correlation we have for week 17, we have the New Orleans Atlanta game. So that is ETN, Jawan Johnson with the Drake London bringback. And then we have a little bit of Kansas City with Rashee Rice, Kelce, and then Gadsden on the other side of that one. And we get a pretty nice fall on him here at 163. And then last would be the 1v1 here with Chuba Hubbard and JSN for week 17. So, I guess in Cleveland, we have the Dylan Sampson, Jerry Jeudy with that Daniel Jones pick. And again, on Jeudy, we got him at 198, ADP of 179. So pretty correlated team. I didn't force anything. I mean, a lot of those actually came from like pretty significant falls. But overall, I think it's not a team you look at and go like, oh, that's a cool team, that's a sexy team. But I think there's enough pieces there to make it work. Paulino says Caleb Douglas from Miami is a fine last round click. Yeah, I would agree with that. And Hartman adds to that, says Douglas was getting a lot of good coach speak, moving up, moving all around the formation, and he's a good blocker. So I have clicked him a few times, you know, in the 18th round, especially if I have like a Malik Willis, or some like Buffalo pieces. So yeah, I don't disagree with that sentiment at all. All right, we're going to go into the BBM. We got our warm up. Now we're jumping into BBM. Things are getting serious around here. We got $2 million at stake. Y'all probably know the advancement structure here, but if you're new to best ball or you're just stumbling your way in here, let me go through it. This is the flagship tournament on Underdog, the holy grail of best ball tournaments, if you will. $25 entry, and you have 150 max entry. You have to finish top 2 out of 12 in your initial pod. Then you got to finish first out of 14, your second pod. That's week 15. Then week 16 is 1 out of 12. If you do that, you find yourself in the 667 seat final for a chance at $2 million for first place, $1 million for second place, and $500,000 for third place. So this tournament will crown 2 millionaires, pre-tax, of course. We are gunning to get into the finals, and then we'll let the chips fall where they fall. And hopefully at the end, we're at the top of that leaderboard. Last year it was Sherman. Congrats to Sherman, but he's not going back to back. I can promise you that. All right. So Gibbs or Bijan will open with one of those two guys. Let's see. So we have a bronze badge in here, some red badges, silver, no names that I recognize, some black, and then some no badges. So it's a good mix in this room. I think this should be a good draft. Hopefully we come out here with a banger. I'm going to be hyper focused on this build. Try to answer any comments that come in, but if I ignore you, apologies ahead of time. I'm trying to win $2 million. All right, and we are off and running. Let's go. Let's get it. All right. Gibbs off at the 101, and I will happily take Bijan Robinson here at the 102. And I'll get to the board view. See how this shakes out. Now, in this tournament, taking neighbors, say like at 26 or 23, I think it's less attractive in this tournament because this is not a time box tournament that's only going to be open for, you know, a few weeks or a month. This thing's been open since May. We had all the bad news up front, you know, or early on, you know, neighbors was going kind of at the 2-3 turn. Then, you know, there was all the sort of negative news about him, and he started going in the 4th, right? At like the mid 4th, I'd seen him go. I don't know if I saw him go at the end of the 4th. So I'm not sure you can necessarily, you know, there may have been a few builds that got him at 47. I don't know. You guys in the audience, if you guys saw him in BBM at 47, let me know. I don't know if he made it all the way back there. So maybe you can take him at 26. It's not going to, from a game theory perspective, you're not going to be battling builds necessarily with a Bijan and a Neighbors at 47. I'm sure there were a few where that happened. I don't think it was a ton. But that is something I guess I think about in a tournament like this relative to, a time box tournament like Pit Bull, because he certainly was going in the mid fourth and early fourth. All right, so in terms of how this first round played out, after we took Bijan at 2, Jamar Chase goes off at 3, Puka 4, JSN 5, Brown gets pulled up here to 6, Taylor at 7, McCaffrey falls all the way to 8 in this one. Interesting. Jefferson gets pulled up to 9. We have Cook at 10, Lamb at 11, and Genty at 12. So on the bookend over here, we have a Genty Barkley start. Kind of interesting. Brown gets pulled up a little bit here and gets paired up with Cook at the 10 hole. So a Cook Brown, AJ Brown start. It's kind of interesting. With McCaffrey going at 8, and it looks like a slight fall here on Hampton, you get a McCaffrey Hampton start. So I think that's going to be a little bit more unique. London at 18 to pair up with Taylor. And then the St. Brown Henry start. I've seen that a few times. Neighbors up here at 20. So there's your Neighbors click. JSN Neighbors. This guy's not taking any chances. I was gonna say HN almost came back to me here with Bijan. That would have been pretty wild. That would have been pretty wild. It's between these two guys. I think this time I have so many Nico Bijan starts. I think I just want to go Pickens this time, and it's mostly a portfolio pick. I just have the Bijan Nico start a good number of times. I don't know the exact number, but I know I have that. I'm pretty sure I have this one maybe once, but I haven't done this one as much. So I'm going to kind of mix that up there. And now the question is, do you want to grab Rashi? I think I want to pair up Jeremiah Love with Bijan. It's like big brother, little brother. I mean, Jeremiah Love in the third. And, if you have any reservations about like Jeremiah Love being your 1, well, then this is like kind of how you want to play it, right? Like maybe you get like yesterday in the stream with Jerry, we took Derrick Henry and we paired up Derrick Henry with Jeremiah Love. And that felt good because, if we get off to a slow start with Jeremiah Love, I want him for the back half of the year, but I do have questions about how quickly he's going to come out the gate. So here I've got him paired up with Bijan. And I think Pickens makes for a fair anchor at wide receiver. I don't know if he's as strong as Nico, but I think it's fine. So to open this BBM from the 2 hole, we go Bijan at 2, followed up with Pickens at 23, and then Jeremiah Love at 26. Again, Neighbors got pulled up to 20 in this one. Bowers goes at 21. If HN would have fallen here to 23, I would have snap clicked that. I'm lower on HN, but simply for like uniqueness in a tournament of this size, I'm snapping HN right there, no questions. And then I'm taking, whatever I get back at wide receiver, or doing a triple. I don't think I'm doing the triple running back. I'm talking it out of my head, but I'm thinking HN, Bijan, and Love. Like that'd be pretty fire too, actually. But I'm probably gunning for a wide receiver at that point because I don't want to get my first wide receiver at 47. That feels horrible in a range where the wide receivers aren't even that good. So anyways, after we take Love, Rice at 27, this Amika thing, I don't get it. I mean, he was decent as a rookie and maybe he's the clear wide receiver 1. And I guess, you're doing the whole Puka Amika week 17 thing for uniqueness. I guess that's how you have to do it if you want Puka paired up with Amika. This is the only way to make it happen. So I guess I just feel much better about the other bets there. Zay, Smith, those guys, Higgins. This Olave price is insane. I didn't even realize that until right now. Chris Olave here at 37 in the 4th round. Like, good for him. And Hall. Like, I'm taking that too, to be honest with you. If I start off Genty, Barkley, and then Hall falls into my lap at 36 and Olave's there, like, this is exactly how I'm doing this too. So, you know, I think that's a pretty sweet start. We have Kyron going here in the 4th. See that a little bit, but he's a pretty steady 3rd round pick. Yeah, some interesting things here. Nothing too crazy, but a couple interesting things for sure. Well, I would love Colston Loveland if he makes it back. If not, we're getting a fall here on Garrett Wilson. I guess that's going to be hard to pass up on too. Okay, Loveland goes. So we're going to take the fall on Garrett Wilson here. I think that's a pretty easy click. At 47 in BBM, Garrett Wilson. All right. I'm cool with that. ADP would have it Monty, Tootin, Adams. I think I want to grab Tootin here. Is that crazy? I don't know. Monty? Maybe we do grab Monty. It's a good price on him. 2 and 2, you know, maybe they're a little bit of buying the buzz, but I mean, how do you pass up on Monty with that projectable volume? I just think I don't necessarily want to be the guy that's pulling up Tootin. Now Tootin in the 5th, I think that's fine. But over Monty, I can't get there. Can't get there. So if Monty was off the board, I would have taken Tootin. Monty's still there. We go Monty. So kind of going early, you know, we're packing it in here at the running back position, but now we can just kind of stop and chill. And we're going to get to work in these other position groups. So quick recap for you guys on this one. Again, if you're tuning in late, you're watching a BBM here on the Fantasy Fitness Network. We've just been alternating between running backs and wide receivers. We went Bijan at 2, took Pickens here at 23, came back and got Love at 26. We get a 7-pick fall here on Garrett Wilson over here on the left side of the board at 47. And then David Montgomery. Now, I think the Monty Wilson is stronger here because most of the time those guys are both 4th round picks. And I think that how often is Monty coming back in the 5th in a place where you're generally getting Wilson in the 4th? So I think that pairing is probably lower, whereas Tootin was going over here all the time earlier in BBM, and you were getting Tootin Wilson pieces. I think this is just more rare of a roster. And so for those reasons, I would argue that it's a better roster for a large field tournament of this nature. Now, coming into this area, we would be looking at, certainly would be looking at wide receiver if one is there. I don't want to, I mean, it'd be kind of fun. I wouldn't be opposed to doing like the Hurts, Makai Lemon thing. I could certainly get there. That would be kind of fun. Makai Lemon as my 3rd is a little sketch, but we could make it work. He's been falling a little bit. But as a 7th rounder, 1st round rookie, I mean, I can get there. I can definitely get there. So we'll see what happens. We'd be dodging this guy. So if we take Smith, I mean, if we take Hurts, he's not, you know, he's probably less likely to take Makai Lemon. We'll see what's there. Marv goes. So I don't know. We kind of have to. I'm not going to take two quarterbacks, and I'm not going to take another running back here. So what I would do in this scenario is I'm going to grab. Now there's Jaden Daniels, and I get it. But I want that Mekhi Lemon stack. So I'm going to take Hurts. I don't give a shit. And then I'm going to hope for the Mekhi Lemon piece on the way back. He's got 3 wide receivers. Now maybe he takes Lemon. He doesn't. He takes Daniels. I'm going to take Mekhi Lemon here. He's sidelined by a hamstring injury. It's fine. So we're taking him right here at ADP. So let's review this team. We have a 1-3-3-0. I want to be clear. Normally, I'm not taking Hurts over Daniels, but in this particular case, on this particular build, I think it made sense because I get the piece here with Lemon, and I was already behind at wide receiver because I went with these 3 running backs. So to recap this team from the 2-hole, BBM 0-3-3-0, we have Jalen Hurts at quarterback. We have Bijan, Love, and Monty at running back. And then we have Pickens, Garrett Wilson, and Mekhi Lemon at wide receiver. We still have a lot of work to do in that wide receiver room. And we also need to get our first tight end as well. Taking a look at this board. Oh, and Mike Rob's in here. What's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. I haven't been looking at the comments as much. I've been like kind of zoned in. But good to see you, Mike Rob, as always. And then Paulino calls out the Garrett Wilson generational drop. Yeah, I'm taking it for sure. And Hartman asked, do I really like the Mekhi Lemon, Mekhi Lemon Hurts stack, or is there some sort of galaxy brain plan behind it? I don't really like it. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I mean, the thing is it's like we have Smith going here in the 3rd round, and we have a 1st round rookie going at pick 74. I just think sometimes you have to, do you have to bet on 1st round rookie wide receivers? And I don't think that it's a bad click. I don't think it's a great click by any stretch of the imagination, but I want to mix things up in BBM. And with the way that this build played out, I could have pulled up like a DK Metcalf there. I could have pulled up a Quentin Johnston or something like that was in the range, but I had the chance to create a stack. And so it was kind of really about that. And if I had gotten, if Mekhi Lemon had gotten clicked there, then I'm fine rolling with Jalen Hurts unstacked. So it was just kind of like the way the board was playing out. It's not something I do a lot in BBM. I'm super underweight Mekhi Lemon. I think I don't even know. I have to go look. 2.8% Mekhi Lemon right now in BBM. So this was not really, this is not really like a Mekhi Lemon thing. It was more just the way that the board was playing out. And I had already kind of got some uniqueness here that I liked. So I wanted to take advantage of that. I was hoping, I'm hoping I get one of these two. I need a wide receiver. I mean, there's Harvey here, but I'm so stacked at these running backs. I feel like this team would benefit more from Sam Laporta. I think it would. I'm going to grab Laporta here, and I'm going to hope I get Pittman back. This guy's got 4, so I'm hoping I get Michael Pittman back here. A little riskier, but that's the goal. Otherwise, it's so gross. I don't want Xavier Worthy. Don't want Xavier Worthy. Okay, thank God. Thank goodness. All right, let's get Michael Pittman. Whew. breathe a sigh of relief. All right, let's recap this team real quick. 1-3-4-1. We have Jalen Hurts at quarterback. We have Bijan, Love, and Monty as our running backs. George Pickens, Garrett Wilson, Mekhi Lemon, and Michael Pittman Jr. as our wide receivers. And then we have Sam Laporta here as our lone tight end. We do get a fall on him at 95. The other fall here to make note of is Garrett Wilson here at 47. And Monty, just a little fall on Monty here at 50. Not really a fall, I would say. But yeah, I like this team quite a bit, actually, mostly for just like uniqueness purposes. And I like the talent up top here, specifically Bijan and Monty to kind of carry you through the season. And then hopefully some mega spike weeks, you know, middle back half of the year for Jeremiah Love. Maybe he comes out the gate hot. I don't know. But even if he doesn't, that's fine. The question here is going to be kind of like, how do I want to play the rest of this? Like, just trying to think, like, you know, Rodgers, I kind of open things up with Michael Pittman with Rodgers. We also have Geno, you know, kind of open things up with Geno. If Dart falls back to us, I mean, just as like a standalone piece with some correlation with Pickens, I wouldn't be opposed to that, just because he would be, you know, on a fall. I'm thinking from a tight end perspective, Dallas Goedert would be kind of interesting if he were to fall. I don't know that I want to pull him up to 119. I would, but because we got Laporta, I don't necessarily need to stack Goddard, and I don't think I want to pull him up, especially with all these other pieces here. Dart would be interesting. Concepcion would be interesting. Very interesting. We could go Jaden Higgins and then try to get like a Houston stack going with Monty. That's a bye week 8. You know, we could grab like a Higgins, and then we'd have like a Higgins, Monty, Stroud stack. And you could tack on like a Schultz and make it like a triple or a double. Okay, Concepcion goes. I think here you just see what's left. I mean, both these guys, you have, I don't even like necessarily clicking both. I mean, Jackson Dart here at 119. Yeah, we're doing that. We're definitely doing that. Okay, Jackson Dart at 119. And then I like the idea of grabbing Higgins here if he's there. I was going to say Concepcion, but he went. Assume this guy's going to take a tight end. Just don't take Higgins. Bastard. All right. Is Diggs still on the board? No, he went. Okay, then we're going to pull up. I'm going to pull up Shaheed. No, I'm going to pull up Debo. Got it in. Sweet. That's my San Francisco bring back with my Philly pieces. So that was close. That was a close call. I could have went Kittle there too, in hindsight, now that I think about it. But I need a wide receiver more on this build than I do. I think George Pickens or George Kittle. So I'm actually happy with the pull up here on Samuel. I think it's reasonable. It's close. I could have certainly gone Kittle there as well. But we'll see. Maybe we get lucky and you get like a Goddard fallback at that turn. Definitely wanted. I think the wide receiver was more important on this build too, just in general, kind of where I started. All right, let's recap it. We're through 11. We have a 2-3-5-1. We have Jalen Hurts and Jackson Dart. We get a mega fall here on Dart. No stacking pieces, but we have the correlation with Pickens for week 17. And even just that 1v1, you know, a quarterback with like an elite wide receiver in a 1v1 week 17, I could see it. I could see it. Bijan, Jeremiah Love, and David Montgomery. Higgins, you know, would have been kind of cool there because if we grab Higgins here, then we can look for the stack with Stroud. Although at this point, like a third is less, third quarterback is less important with these two. I don't mind adding one, but it's less important. Wide receivers, Pickens, Wilson, Lemon, Pittman, and Samuel. Samuel's the bring back for the Hurts Lemon stack. And then we have standalone here, Sam Laporta, just buying up the Detroit offense. Again, here we would, Goddard would be a smash, I think, because we'd get the double. If he's not there, I like Chig. I would be cool clicking Chig here. We don't have anything necessarily there to stack with. I'm okay with Travis Hunter. We could grab a third quarterback, but I'm inclined to wait now and get like a Rodgers to stack up with Pittman and just, you know, spend less capital there. Goddard goes. The running backs are up here. They're falling too. So, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to grabbing like C-Rod. I did pass on Tootin. So from like a game theory perspective, I'm sort of saying, you know, Tootin's not going to be the guy. We're going to take C-Rod. C-Rod's the guy you need. He's going to smash. So there's that. I think I would take C-Rod here if he makes it back. Yes. C-Rod at 143, folks. This is a smash. All right, and then here, I like Boston and I like Trey Tucker. I have the piece with Arizona, so let's get my boy Trey Tucker. Pull him up a little bit, but I mean, Diggs signs, Debo signs, those threats have been exhausted in terms of vets that could have signed. It looks like I cut out there for a second, so I just stopped talking. Yeah, I mean, we don't have those vet threats anymore. Signing with the Raiders, I think that makes Trey Tucker just that much stronger of a pick. It was already a good pick. He's even a better pick. I mean, I don't even know what vets are out there right now. But on this particular build, we did have that Arizona piece, so we get kind of a 1v1. The way that this tight end room is shaking out, I could see a world where I grab like a Michael Mayer at the very end. Where we get back in though, like Schultze would be kind of cool here, you know, kind of consolidate into that Houston offense. I like that quite a bit. And then I mentioned Rodgers, stacking up Rodgers with Pittman Jr. And then you could always tack on like a cheap Jeremy Bernard, a Pat Freiermuth. You know, those things could, you know, those options could open up too. So I think the call here would be Schultz and Rodgers, sort of where I'm at. You know, there has been some hype around Jaden Blue, but at this price, I think that's just a little too rich for my blood. Just looking at these other position groups. I mean, Jalen McMillan has fallen. He's very sensitive to ADP. Every time this guy gets his head knocked around, he drops like 20 picks, which is pretty often. So there's that. Theo Johnson too is just like a late quarter tight end click at the very end. If I don't get like a Mayer, I'm just going to keep that option open. But yeah, Schultz here would be kind of cool. I think I like that. Just looking down the board. I think, how bad is this news? What's up with him? Main sideline, knee, did not participate. I mean, they're not reporting this as something major. Okay, he finally goes. It's probably better for me, actually. I need a third. Does he have? Okay, he takes here. So yeah, we're trying to take Schultz here. And then we're going to follow that up. I think we're going to follow that up with Aaron Rodgers. We could grab Tesla if we wanted to get a little bit more wide receiver help. We need a third. Kind of nice, right? I mean, and it opens up like Pat Fry possibly. I say we do it. Doesn't hurt to have that third. All right, let's take a look at this team, folks. BBM from the 2-hole. We have a 3-4, 6-2, Jalen Hurts, Jackson Dart, Aaron Rodgers. I think that's a fun quarterback room for BBM. Running backs, Bijan, Jeremiah Love, David Montgomery, and Chris Rodriguez at 143. Love that. Might even stop at 4. I'm considering it. I'm considering stopping at 4 on this build. Wide receivers, Pickens, Wilson, Lemon, Pittman Jr., Debo, and Trey Tucker. Definitely want 2 more. I think I want 2 more in this room. And then, I mean, we could stop at Laporta and Schultz. You could get away with that. I definitely think you could get away with that. So it's going to be very board dependent on what's around here. I do like the idea of a Pat Fry, so I'm going to queue him up for that double. But I also like the idea of Jeremy Bernard too. It's kind of like a rookie click. I don't generally take more than 2 rookie wide receivers. Wicks would be fire. Like if Wicks falls back, like I'm going to snap click him. Other guys, like no correlation, but just guys that I like back here. Been some pretty good buzz about Bateman. Now, I don't think there's any correlation there. Let's go look at this in the best ball zone real quick. What do we have? We're looking at Baltimore. Pittsburgh. Okay, so we do have a little week 15 correlation. That is the hardest week to get out of is week 15, 1 out of 14. So something to consider there. I do think a Bateman would be a good click here if we don't get Wicks for the stack. I think Wicks for the stacks makes a ton of sense, and I don't see him making it back. I'm not even counting on him. This guy's got 5, 5. So if you get through these 2, maybe. Nope, there it is. I think I like Bateman over Bernard on this one. I already have Lemon. I don't necessarily, and this room was already a little fragile to begin with, so I think I would prefer a Bateman here if I can get him. I don't mind reaching down to make it happen because I'm on a bookend. I'm not taking any chances. Now we could get Ridley too if we wanted to just go 2. We could go 2 wide receivers here and just go like Ridley Bateman, and that would be a bring back for this Pittsburgh game with Ridley. And then, I mean, how valuable? What's the difference between Freiermuth and, you know, say like a Mayer? I mean, as a 3. Now, if I didn't have the guys I already had, I would say it's pretty high. But with what I have, I think... Do I want Ridley? I guess I do. I think I do. Yeah, let's do it. And now it's, do we take Bateman or Freiermuth? I think I want Bateman. BBM, I'll be a little bit stronger in that wide receiver room. So let's go Bateman here. And then if we get a, we're either going to get a 5th running back or we'll tack on a tight end. So, you know, it was close there with Pat, but I think having landed Laporta where I did and getting him a little past ADP, I'm generally comfortable with like a 2 like this. I want to get as many spike weeks as I can at that wide receiver position in a tournament like BBM. Want to be stronger at quarterback and want to be stronger at running back. I'm okay. If I'm going to be weak anywhere, it's going to be tight end. So on the way back, we would be looking at, I mean, running backs, they don't look all that appealing. I guess there's James Conner. You could pair him up, but that feels a little strange. Kalen Black, that would be an option as just like a late 5th. It's part of that game stack that I have with Philly and San Francisco. So there's that. Just trying to think this through real quick. Could grab an Eli Stowers, although the camp reports have not been good on him. I don't know. Let me see if there's any good news on Eli Stowers. At that point, I'd probably just grab Theo. I like Theo. Yeah, he's going through all sorts of stuff. Eli Stowers, he's off my board for BBM. I mean, I'd be Theo or a running back here. Or Pat if he makes it all the way back, but that's incredibly unlikely to happen. It's the last pick of the draft. Theo is not that unlikely. And then there's Mayer, of course. So let's get Jeremy Bernard out at this point. We'll leave Pat in, and we'll leave Black here. Okay, we're 7 picks away. Okay, Pat finally goes. 207. Finally off the board. So we kind of have 3 options here in my mind. We have Kalen Black. I guess you could throw in Nicholas Singleton too, because we have that game stack. We have Nicholas Singleton for that game stack with Pittsburgh and Tennessee. We have Michael Mayer. He's just a piece with that Arizona with Love and Trey Tucker. Theo is going to create a game stack with Jackson Dart. We would get Jackson Dart, Theo, and then we'd have to bring back with Pickens for week 17. And then Kalen Black is just like a late click. If anything happens to CMC, you have the starter week 17 in a game stack with Houston or with Philly. Sorry, I'm confusing some things. Philly and San Francisco. I think Black is probably the best click. I just think I can get away with these 2. And how much more Like, what's the marginal benefit here of these guys versus if something does happen to CMC or they're just, you know, I think it's reasonable. It's reasonable to get black there as a 5th. And it's part of a game stack, so it's not like it's just Kalen black for no reason. Let's review it. I think it's a good build, a solid build, one I definitely want in my BBM portfolio. Hartman says Debo's getting expensive, and then he says never Eli Stowers, even if it's an emergency. I appreciate that. All right, let's review the team. 3-5-8-2. I think this is probably my favorite build in BBM. Build structure, I should say. So from the 2-hole, we go Jalen Hurts, Jackson Dart at 119. I just love that. And then Aaron Rodgers here at 170. Only quarterback here who's unstacked is Dart, but at that value, I mean, I think that was an easy click. Running backs, we have Bijan, Jeremiah Love, David Montgomery, C-Rod, and Kalen Black. Kind of round out that room. Wide receivers, George Pickens, Garrett Wilson at 47, Mekhi Lemon stacked up with Jalen Hurts. We have Michael Pittman Jr. stacked up with Rodgers. And then we took Debo. We did pay a premium for him, but we were on a bookend, and he was part of that game stack. I got sniped on Higgins. I was going to do the whole Houston thing, but at that point, I thought Debo made some sense. So we did pull him up here at 122. And then we have Trey Tucker, Calvin Ridley, and Rashad Bateman. And then we stop at 2 tight ends with Sam Laporta and Dalton Schultz. It's a little thin at tight end, but I think it was probably the right. I mean, we could have gone four running backs and stopped at these 4 and then taken like a Theo Johnson or a Michael Mayer there. That would have been the alternative. But overall, I feel pretty good about this team. Happy to have that one in the BBM portfolio. And, you know, I'm still ready to do another draft. Let's do one more. I'm feeling it. I am feeling it. Let's go do another. Let's do a puppy. Let's just kind of end this with a puppy. We did a Pit Bull. We did a BBM, and now we're going to do a puppy 3. What's at stake in the puppy 3, you ask? $100,000. $100,000 a first, $50,000 a second, $25,000 a third. We have the advancement structure in the puppy 3 is 2 out of 12, 1 out of 10, and 1 out of 5. But we do have a massive 750 seat final here. $5 entries, 150 entry max. We're at 26% on the fill rate here, approaching 27. Appreciate you guys stopping by the channel. Appreciate the support. If you guys like this content, hit it with a like. Help us grow so we can increase our viewership and audience. And yeah, I thought that was a good BBM. It was fun. Got some nice falls. Got some guys I normally don't draft, like Mekhi Lemon. 2.8% exposure through 100 plus BBMs. So figured it'd be good to add a little bit of him. And I did stack him up with Hurt, so that was cool. But yeah, here we go. Let's check out this room. Let's see what we're dealing with here. It's all badged up. Got some bronze badges in here, some red badges, black badges. What is this? Gold? Oh yeah, Falklore 23. I think I've seen him around for sure. So lots of experience in this one. Again, if you're tuning in late, you're watching a Puppy 3. We just got done with a BBM and a Pit Bull. So we've been at it today. I'm going to sink down that BBM real quick and see if it pops up in BBM DB. I'm just curious how it graded out. Maybe we'll take a look at that at the end if it comes through, and that Pit Bull. It's like asynchronous, so just because you sync it here doesn't mean it shows up immediately on the other side. I've noticed that there is like a delay. In some cases, it takes till like the next morning for it to show up. So, you know, you just have to, it just kind of depends. All right, so for this one, we're drafting out of the 10 hole on this one. Again, this is a puppy 3. You're tuning in late. It's been a good week, been a productive week for me. Lots of drafts. I also am a property manager for 2 rental properties, so I've been having to go out to my rental properties for a few things. You know, nothing crazy, but that stuff's come up a little bit, keeping me busy. When I'm not doing that and I'm not programming, I am sitting in this chair drafting. All right, it's between Barkley and Genty. Normally I'm gonna take Barkley, but this time I'm gonna take Genty. Fantasy Dog, what's up, buddy? Good to see you in here, man. Appreciate you stopping by the channel. If you're coming in late, you missed the BBM and a Pit Bull, but you can always rewind the tape. That was a good one. Okay. I am going to take Chase Brown. I don't take a lot of them, so I'm gonna mix them in. I think this kind of seems like a fun pairing. Chase Brown and Genty. I don't know. I don't have a lot of that, so that could be kind of fun. Let's do that start. We'll do a Genty Chase Brown start here in this puppy 3 for you guys. All right, let's look at this first round, see if there's anything unusual. Chalk, 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 chalk. I mean, pretty much chalk the whole way through. Maybe you could say Jefferson to Genty, but I have Jefferson a little bit lower. I don't know. The whole vibes in Minnesota to me are just, they're off. They're just a little off for me. So I'm still taking Jefferson, but it's more at this like 1-2 turn. You know, I'd take Genty there if Lamb's gone, or Saquon, or Cook. But yeah, everything was chalky through this first round. I have nothing to report to you guys or my audio listeners if you're listening and doing something outside or whatever. Second round here, we do have, I guess, a little bit of news. Walker gets pulled up to the 1-2 turn, followed by Barkley. I take Chase Brown here at 15. Hampton goes at 16. HN at 17. And Henry. Pickens gets pulled up here at 19 to get a pairing with JSN. Excuse me. And then we have a Brown, AJ Brown fall here at 20. It's not really a fall. I guess that's his price. And he gets paired up here with CMC. We have the London Puka start, double bye week 11, whatever, it doesn't matter in this format. Jamar Chase and Bowers, and then we have Bijan and Malik Neighbors, Gibbs and Collins. We have here just some hellos going on, and then Fantasy Dog says you got Genty at 19. Holy smokes, bro! I haven't seen that. I don't I don't know when I saw that. I don't know if I ever saw that this whole season. That's fire. Congrats. What was that in? Was that a BBM? Was that a puppy? Pit Bull? I'd love to know. Genty at 19 for Fantasy Dog 1. I've been trying to get more McBride, but it's been tough because I want him in like this 31, 30, 31, 32. And it's just been tough, man. Like there's always been like somebody I want like right there in front of him. So I don't know. Be nice to get a little bit more Trey McBride, but I just haven't gotten a ton of luck on that. I've always been off by like 1 click. Higgins goes, ADP would tell me to take Amika. My rankings would say take Kyron. Kind of like Lad. God, this is a tough range. I'm going to take Lad because that's some divisional correlation with Vegas. And then this is a good range to try to pair him up with Herbert at pick, what is it, 80, 82? I think we could, now with the Hampton drafter to my left, I do lose a little bit of like inside position there. Maybe this guy's going to take Herbert, but he's probably more incentivized to take Dak in all honesty, or even, maybe he takes Burrow. So I'm going to risk that. And then on this one, I'm going to take Tet. I like Tet here. Let's grab some Tet. But yeah, my thought here for taking Lad is I'm at 82. I think there's a better than 50% chance that I'm going to get the Herbert Lad stack. So that's what I'm kind of gunning for. We have the strong start at running back, so I didn't really feel the need to grab like a Kyron or any of those guys there. Wanted the wide receiver, and it was like, you take Amika. Was it Amika? Sorry, is he still on the board? No. That was... Oh, yeah. I could have taken Amika there, and that would have been an option. I just feel a little bit more confident in Lad, if I'm being completely honest. Just a tad bit. Okay, so Fantasy Dog was in a puppy yesterday, and he landed Genty at 19. Wow. That's awesome. All right, quick recap here for our audio listeners. From the 10 hole, we have a 0-2-2-0 start. Start off with Genty at 10, Chase Brown at 15. Came back and got Lad at 34 and Tet at 39. And hoping to get Herbert at 82. But in the meantime, I want to tack on a couple more wide receivers here at 58 and 63. We'll see what comes back to us. Looking at this board, I'm just looking for some surprises, anything crazy. I mean, that price on McBride at 32, because this guy pulls up Allen at 31, like that. I mean, this is pretty cool, but like the thing I have an issue with here is you're literally getting your first wide receiver at 56. I just hate those starts. I do not start my first wide receiver in the 5th round. Maybe over here, maybe, but I just don't like this start. If you're going to start off 2 running backs and then you take McBride, like I'm taking a wide receiver here. I don't care how good the value is on Jacobs. Me personally, for structural reasons, you're already behind the 8 ball with an elite tight end, and you've gone RB, and you have 2 hammers here. So like, you don't need Jacobs if you're going to take McBride. Now, if you're going to take a wide receiver here, then McBride is fine. But I'm not doing this. That's a build I do not do. For better or worse, I don't do it. Now here I can afford a Travion if he's there. He goes anyways, so whatever. But I mean, you can afford it there. We could grab Lamar. We don't really have any stacking options. We do have some correlation. That is a good price on Lamar. I'm tempted. Yeah, let's do Lamar. Screw it. I don't need him stacked. And we have some correlation with Brown. It's a good price at 58. And we can still get our wide receiver on the way back. Parker Washington at 60. He goes double Jacksonville here. I was hoping he was going to leave me Tate. But I'm going to grab Marv for the week 17 correlation with Genty. It's a little early, but nothing crazy. You know, a little pull up here. We're getting the Marv Genty week 17 correlation. We also got Lamar and Chase Brown. And if I get Lamar and then I come back and get Herbert, like I'm done at 2. So we'll see. We're right in that Herbert range, like I talked about. See if he makes it back. Did I snipe this guy on anything? Like I was gonna see, where's the Zay drafter? Okay, Zay's over here. Yeah, he just happily passed on Lamar there. But yeah, I mean, again, like, okay, now this is just like, it went from like kind of absurd to like even more absurd at this point. Like he comes back and gets Judkins at 56, which again, like fine, good price, but, and then Daniels. So he's going to grab his first wide receiver. If he does it, at this point, I have no belief that he's even going to do it. But if he does, he's going to get his first wide receiver at 80 and 89. I mean, what's the point? Like, what's the point? It started off so strong. He got such a good price on McBride here. And then he just completely blew up his build. I hate that build. I just absolutely hate that build. It makes no sense to me. I'm looking at the rest of this board to see if there's any weirdness or dumbness going on. I mean, that's the one that stands out the most. Everything else seems pretty reasonable. Watson getting pulled up here to 55. I mean, that's a little early, but nothing like crazy. We have the double here. This guy's clearly gunning for the T-Law pick here at 84. I mean, you can see it from a mile away. I'm just hoping to get Herbert back. I think a Herbert Lamar Jackson start would be early, but you're 2 and you're done. It is puppy, so screw it. Four straight RB, sometimes just feeling something, Hartman says. I mean, dude, and a tight end, just stop. Just stop with the nonsense at this point. Seriously, please. We get our Herbert piece. We end up getting the Herbert Ladd stack. We get Lamar on a fall. We get the week 17 correlation with Chase Brown. We have Genty. And then we have Ladd, T-Mac, or Tet, and Marv. He does exactly what I said he was going to do. Takes T-Law at the edge. Do we want Godwin or Sutton? I want Godwin. I want Godwin for sure. Okay. So yeah, I mean, I'm going back to this build because this is just dumb at this point. You get Taylor, Achane, McBride at 32. You're killing it. Maybe you want to take this third. Fine. I can get there. But then Judkins, Daniels, Kraft, and now your first wide receiver is Michael Wilson, and you're gonna go win this tournament. Really? Good luck. I will go ahead and recap the team so far. So we are through 8 rounds. It's a 2240. So it's an unconventional start here. But we have Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert as our starters. That's killer. We have Genty and Brown doing pretty good here in the running back room. And then we get Ladd, Tet, Marv, and Godwin. I need to just let him cook. I'll stop destroying this guy. I'll let him cook. I'll let him cook something. I don't know what he's cooking. Whatever this meal is, I want nothing to do with it. He can eat it. I want nothing to do with it. But good for me. He's leaving better wide receivers on the board. All right, what do we want to do here? I can see a running back certainly makes sense. A wide receiver makes sense. Hoping to get one of these. Yeah, we'll probably get one of these running backs back in either. I think I would go Gainwell here because I'm kind of consolidating into Tampa, although I'm not opposed to Rachaad White. We'll have Pittman potentially. Pittman at 106 would be pretty fire. I could just do like a little cheap 1v1 here, Washington, Jacksonville, but I don't normally do that kind of crap. Let's grab let's grab a running back. I feel more nervous. Hate passing Pittman, but hopefully he comes back. Let's go Gainwell here. I know, I'm going to leave him alone. I'll leave him alone. He's just kicking me off. I don't care. I honestly don't care. Like, what's it matter to me? If anything, it's probably better for us. Glad I took the running back there. Because White goes. And Krosky Merritt got pulled up, man. The Krosky Merritt thing is like real at this point. All right, let's take Myers. Jordan Mason at 110. That feels a little rich. Feels rich. Is that okay? I don't know. I'm willing to wait on that. Let's go Myers. No real tight ends to speak of in this range. All right. And I mean, I have no room to talk. It's not like I'm some sort of expert. So, I mean, to be fair to the poor guy, it's not like I'm some sort of expert that has any sort of credibility here. Anyways, let's recap the team. 2-3-5-0. Lamar Jackson and Justin Herbert. That's a fun pairing. I don't know if I've done that yet, so that's cool. We have Genty, Brown, and Gainwell as our running backs. And then wide receivers here, we have Ladd, Tet, Marv, Godwin, and Myers. We have the 1v1 here with Marv and Genty for week 17. And then we have the 1v1 with Lamar and Chase Brown for week 17. And then we have the stack with Justin Herbert and Ladd. So pretty good pieces here. I think the wide receiver room is pretty solid. We've got some vets here in Godwin and Myers, and then 3 younger guys that are hopefully ascending going into their second and third years. So pretty good room there. Hopefully we get a breakout this year from Genty. Brown's been kind of steady. I think he's he's a little bit of a fragile bet just because he was like a 6th rounder undrafted. It's really like more of a team environment bet and lack of competition in his backfield. But I don't see anything that's gonna change that for this year. Maybe in Dynasty you want to unload him, but in best ball, I think he's a good click. All right. Let's take a look at the board for you guys. See what other madness is happening at this spot. He gets Golden and comes back. Okay, he doubles up Kraft, Golden, and Love. Fun. I would like a tight end in this range. I just love this range for tight end. And running back would be kind of cool too. There's not a lot of running backs. We'd either have to take, if Jones slips or C-Rod. I think the preference here is C-Rod over Jones. Yeah, let's do it. We got that Jacksonville piece here with Myers. Let's just continue that bet. Jacksonville is going to smash, and there's 4 tight ends to choose from here. So I don't, this guy, I mean, these guys all need him, but I imagine something's going to come back, right? Trying to think of what would be a good. Andrews goes. Goes. Let's get Chig here. Chig or Goddard, man. This is a tough click. I'm just going to cycle them because I'm a wimp and I don't know which one I want. Okay, Goddard it is. Goddard here at 135. Add him to the team. And I mean, Andrews would have been cool, obviously, for the stack with Lamar. Plus, he would have been a pretty good fall there at 133. That would have been cool. Wasn't meant to be, but I think Goddard's a nice consolation prize here. So we do get our first tight end at 135. You're looking to add that at the next turn. But overall, I feel pretty balanced. I'm stopping at 2 no matter what. I see no reason to add a third quarterback to this room or this build. I think we did all right here with the running backs. I mean, it was a little lean, but then we got Gainwell and came back and got C-Rod. If he is the goal line back for Jacksonville, that's going to be super valuable in fantasy. And we kind of did consolidate into that offense just generally with the Myers pick here. So overall, I am liking this build. I think obviously want to add to this wide receiver room and tight end room. I think those are the priorities at the next turn. Pretty easily. I want to get a running back here. I guess the Gadsden pick, if we want to stack up, do a double stack here with Herbert, Ladd, and Gadsden. I'm on board with that for sure. See if he makes it back. And then I'd be looking at Trey Tucker. I click Trey Tucker every time. So if you guys don't like Trey Tucker, probably don't want to be in this room because I literally click him every time. And especially on this build where I have Genty and Marv, and I'm already working a week 17 stack, I'm hoping I get Tucker back here. That would be sweet. I'm not sure if he's going to make it, but that's the goal. The goal here is Gadsden and Tucker. Appreciate you guys all stopping by the channel. It's been a good draft. We started off with the Pit Bull. That was super fun. Then we went over to a BBM, drafted a good BBM from the 2-hole, and now we're doing a puppy 3 to just close out this draft, or this stream, I should say. If you guys missed yesterday's episode too, you're definitely going to want to check that out. Jerry was on as a guest in yesterday's stream. So we did 2 drafts together. We did a Pit Bull 2 and a BBM. So definitely worth checking out if you guys haven't already. Now this is close. Do I want to take... God, I almost want Trey Tucker more than Gadsden, and Gadsden's been falling. So I'm going to take Trey. I think I need the help more at wide receiver than I do running back. These guys have 2, 1, 1, and they don't really, they're in Jacksonville pieces. I don't know. Maybe they take an unstacked Gadsden just for the, maybe this guy just takes it just to take it, but I don't know that he's going to do that. So I'll risk it, and if he goes, he goes. So be it. All right, it worked like a charm. All right, so now I'm going to review this team for you guys. We're at a 2-4-6-2. Lamar Jackson and Justin Herbert at quarterback. We have Genty, Chase Brown, Gainwell, and C-Rod as our running backs. I think this is shaping up as a 6 RB room, especially because I know already I'm going to stop at 2 quarterbacks. Wide receivers, we have Ladd stacked up with Herbert. We have Tet, Marv, Godwin, Jacoby Myers, and Trey Tucker. This feels like a Rashad Bateman-ass team. So, want to queue him up. Although, oh, he's way down there. I don't know if I'm going to be in a good spot to get him, but I am feeling some Bateman on this one. I think at this next turn, though, be a good spot to add to the running back room, if we could do that. Again, I think this is going to be a 6 running back team. Kind of see it as like a 2-6-7-3, maybe 2-6-8-2. We'll see. Don't want to decide yet. I hate doing that. But in our range coming up here, we'd be looking at Zachariah Branch, rookie who's looked pretty good in camp. For Atlanta, we have Malik Washington, Antonio Williams, who's going to be falling significantly with the signing of Diggs. So I'm not touching him at this point. He may not even be draftable. He's probably like an 18th round click at this point, I would say, now that they signed Diggs. Tank and Wicks. Don't really have anything for those games, but I just generally, I do like the Wicks click quite a bit. Bateman's way down there at 203. That's his ADP. Where am I drafting? I'm at 204. So if anything, I'm going to try to get Bateman here at 202. That's probably where I'm going to try to grab him, which leaves running back possibly here in these next 2 clicks. One of these next 2 for sure. Bateman here, and then it would be a wide receiver or a running back at the end there. So let's just see how this plays out. In terms of the tight ends, Goddard and Gadsden, that feels a little light. I think I want to add a third. 2-6-7-3, 2-5-8-2, something like that. 2-5-8-3, sorry. Dylan Sampson, Brian Robinson, Sean Tucker. I can get on board with all of those. Trying to think what makes sense here. I think either of those guys are good clicks. Okay, Sampson goes. Just need one of these 2 to get back. D-Rob goes. Branch goes. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to click. And Mendoza's staring me in the face too, but I don't need a... I mean, we could get the Mendoza, Genty. I just can't justify it though. Not over this running back. Certainly not over a 5th. Now, if he comes back, maybe you take him. But I need other positions more. Barner would be pretty fire here. And we have Wicks. Yeah, in this range, I want Wicks. I don't have any stacking options, but just as a click, I'm consolidating a little bit here with Philly. We got the Goddard, Wicks, pieces of that offense. I'll deal with the tight end at the end. I felt like those were the better clicks. It was thinning out a little bit. I just don't like the rest of these running back options when you get back here. It's just major dart throws after. I mean, even Sean Tucker to some extent is a dart throw, but it gets really bad after that. So, anyways, let's review it. 2-5-7-2. We have Lamar and Herbert. We have at running back Genty, Chase Brown, Gainwell, C-Rod, and Sean Tucker. Wide receivers: Ladd stacked up with Herbert, Tet, Marv, Chris Godwin, Jacoby Myers, Trey Tucker, and Dontavian Wicks. I think that's pretty solid. If I could add Bateman here and stack him and get the game stack with the Brown bring back, I think that would be super nice. We'll see if he makes it all the way back. It's going to be right at his ADP. And the guys around him are, I don't know, they're interesting. So I'm not counting on it, but that would be cool. We could always just grab like a Jacoby Lane too, because he's been getting some buzz in camp. And you have Surratt, who's kind of fallen off because of some of the buzz with Jacoby. But my preference obviously is Rashad Bateman here, because we've seen it with him before and we know he's a good player. Declan is using him differently. He's kind of moving all over the formation. Says his talent is being on display more. So I'm in on Bateman this year, especially at the end. Bateman and Wicks are probably my two favorite late clicks, pretty much in all drafts. I just like these guys. I think Wicks has a chance to be in on 2 wide receiver sets. He's already spiked before. If we go out here and we look at in the best ball zone, we go out here to the player volatility index, we'll look at wide receivers. Come over here, see where he is. Well, here's Trey Tucker. That's my dude. But where is he? Oh yeah, Dontavian Wicks. Let me take off these names and we'll just look at it. There he is. Best game score. He's in the spikers category. 28 was his high. Obviously, his week-to-week average is pretty low. 9.21 was his best year-long average over the last 3 years. But he does have that 28 point spike week. So give me some Wicks. This would be my Bateman nemesis. It's going to be the guy that I talk crap about the whole time, right? That's going to take my Bateman. I know it. And that's going to be karma. Me talking smack. We get him. Hell yeah. Bateman it is. And then Michael Mayer. Michael Mayer shares here. It's either Mayer or Gesicki. Man, I'm just going all out on this this Vegas game. Let's go Michael Mayer. Wrap this up. I think this was a fun build. Let's go over it. 2-5-8-3 from the 10 hole. We go double elite quarterback. Lamar Jackson. He slips the 58, and we had the Chase Brown piece. Plus, I've been clicking a lot of Bateman, so I scoop him there. I set up the Ladd pick early. I took him over Amika because I thought I had a chance to get Herbert here. So we grab Herbert at 82 and stack him up with Ladd. The running backs are Genty, Chase Brown, Gainwell, C-Rod, and Sean Tucker. Little light. I thought I was going to get 6, but we end up with 5. It's fine. I think you can get there with those guys because we have the two up top, and then we have some goal line potentially here with C-Rod and some spike week upside with these other guys and good offenses. I don't normally take the double Tampa, but I don't know. It was the best value on the board there. I'm fine with it. Ladd, Tet, Marv, Chris Godwin, Jacoby Myers, Trey Tucker, Dontavian Wicks, and Rashad Bateman. We have that game stack with Cincy and Baltimore, with Lamar to Bateman, and then the Chase Brown bring back. And then this tight end room, we have Goddard, we have Gadsden stacked up with Herbert, And then we have Michael Mayer because we're kind of doing like a game stack here. Not really a game stack, but what is it? 3v1 with Mayer, Tucker, and Genty. And then we have the Marv bring back for week 17. So feeling pretty good about this team. I think it's a fun team. Can't really go wrong there with those double elites. But yeah, so this is the third draft of the day. We had the Pit Bull and the BBM. So yeah, appreciate you guys stopping by the channel. Let's see. I'm gonna pull up. Let's see if I can pull up. I'll sync this down with BBM. We'll see what kind of showed up in the. Let's see if anything got synced up. I'm gonna look at this real quick. We'll take a quick look and then we'll drop off this episode. All right, so going out here to BBM. Once you download the extension, you can auto sync. And then coming in here, all right, let's see. Under teams, how'd we do? Oh, okay, sweet. That BBM graded out nicely. That one got an S. 62, according to BBM. And again, you take all this stuff with a grain of salt. I've got D's and F's in here, so, you know, whatever. I don't take it like it's gospel or anything. But this is interesting. That team ended up with a 62.7% advancement probability coming out of that build. So that was the Jalen Hurts, Dart, Rogers, Bijan Love, Monty, C-Rod, and Black, Pickens, Wilson, Lemon, Pittman Jr., Debo, Tucker, Ridley, Bateman, Sam Laporta, Schultz. So the Sims, the BBMDB Sims like this team a lot. 62.7 on the advancement percentage on that guy. This, I don't think, is the puppy I did earlier, or was it? No, this was one I did early this morning when I woke up. So they don't have the puppy in here. And I'm not seeing the Pit Bull either. This is the Pit Bull I did yesterday with Jerry, I think. So anyways, I guess that's pretty solid. That's 62. That's one of the better scores I've gotten in a while in BBM, actually. So I'll take it. The other ones, again, like I said, it's an asynchronous process. I think it loads into his database and then somehow it becomes retrievable later. But I think he's got probably like an asynchronous load into his database. So something to look at, just the data point. I don't get too crazy with it, but I will check it out. But yeah, appreciate you guys stopping by for this episode. It's been a blast. Sorry I wasn't as in on the comments. I was kind of heads down on that BBM and trying to focus on winning $2 million, man. So you can't blame me too much, right? Definitely check out Fantasy Fitness, though, if you guys haven't already. Checked out this website that I've been building for the last year plus. It's half fantasy, half physical fitness. And I know that sounds like a crazy combo, but it's super cool. You get 3 fantasy hubs. That's the front office, the best ball zone in the classroom. Front office is all about, like, you know, you go into the office, what's the headlines for the day? We highlight one player per day. We highlight a team per day, and we highlight a prospect that's in college. We have all the top headlines right here. This is, I don't know why it's all ESPN. I got to check that. That might be a bug. But we should be pulling in from ESPN, CBS Sports, NBC Sports. It's Yahoo. It's like 5 different news sources. You can integrate your rosters if you're playing on Sleeper, FFPC, or Yahoo. So for like your dynasty rosters, you can come in here. If you're playing on any of those platforms, you just come in here, you kind of put your information in, and then this is the key piece of data. You just put in the URL. So like if you're out here on like the FFPC, you're on your page, you just copy in this URL. And what it does is I parse over that, and I can go and I can sync down your roster if you're on FFPC, Yahoo, or Sleeper. So then you can, once you do that, you can look at your team. You can get insights into your team. You can keep notes, whether those are draft notes, general notes, things you got to do for the week, players you're getting off the waiver wire. You can put individual player notes on a per roster basis, and then those get rolled up to like a top level view. You get all these like roster metrics on your team. You can get a view of your entire league. So this is the league out there on FFPC. I can see every other player's roster in my league. I can see which draft picks that they have remaining if I want to do trades. And then you get access to the schedule as well. So you can kind of see your schedule for the upcoming year, or as the year is going by, you get to see that. That's part of the front office. The best ball zone is all about best ball. We have projections, team projections, and then down to like the player projections. You have access to the player volatility index, which I was just showing off. This is studs, duds, spikers, and floors. So it's a quadrant graph. It looks at the last 3 years of data on a per position basis, and it tells you what their single game score is, best game score. So highest single game score versus their best season-long average. And based on that, they fall into one of these 4 quadrants, and, kind of helps you identify spikers. I mean, look at Malik Willis. He's hanging out here in the spikers category. You have Bryce Young, which everybody talks smack about, but he's been up here. He had a 36.4 point spike week. So, these are things you can look at, help identify maybe players you want to target. I just mentioned Dontavian Wicks is a guy that I like because he's had spike weeks. Then you have the championship week schedule. This is weeks 15, 16, and 17 for every team. And then inside of that, you have their current ADP and then the ADP of the players on the teams that they're playing week 17. So this can help you target bringbacks and stacks and things of that nature for those championship weeks. Also go over here to the survivor view. This is weeks 1 through 14. So if you're playing an eliminator, you want to see what matchups there are, you get to look at this. So for Buffalo, they start off with a really tough matchup against Houston on the road. You're taking Josh Allen, James Cook, DJ Moore, an eliminator. You may want to temper expectations for week 1 or make sure you have good pairings so you can get out of your 6 out of 12 pod in the eliminator format. So you have access to all those things here. And then this one's a work in progress, but this is a build spectrum. So 0 versus hero. Do I want to go extreme hero wide receiver or extreme hero running back? Or do I want to do like a 0 RB build or 0 wide receiver build? And then from there, you can tack on elite QB or late QB, elite tight end, late tight end, those types of things. It helps you maybe think about how you want to construct a draft before you get in there. That's all part of the Best Ball Zone. Classroom's all about curating videos. If you want to look at, just sit down, watch film, you can come out here and just watch 100 and 200 plays of RJ Harvey, last year, and see if you think he's going to be good this year. But this is the film zone. We curate a couple of videos, and then we have the whiteboard. This is so you can come in and take notes. Maybe you've done 50 BBMs or you've done 20 eliminators and you've identified patterns in your drafts. You can come out here, take notes, make sure that you're, just following up with that kind of stuff. And then the fitness hub. This is where we step away from fantasy football and we take care of our personal health. You get an individual fitness profile. You get to create that. You can see I was kicking ass with my weight loss, and then July 4th hit and I went to some parties, and now I'm off trend, guys. I need to get back on trend. You can put your blood pressure in here. You can track weight loss goals, and then you can send challenges to your friends and family. My wife's in here. She doesn't even play fantasy football, but she signed up and has a fitness profile. We send each other fitness challenges all the time. I sent a fitness challenge to my buddy Kevin today, 200 jumping jacks, 100 sit-ups. So individual fitness profiles and fitness challenges. And then you get your own personal AI trainer. So everybody who creates a fitness profile gets an AI trainer. You can analyze meals. If you go out to lunch with a buddy, you don't know what you're about to eat, take a picture of it. It'll tell you your macro count, your calorie count, what you're about to put in your body. You can come up with a workout plan, a 1 day or a multi-day, or you have questions about recovery if you've been working out. It will help you do that. It'll create a challenge for you when it builds out your workout plan, so you can add that to your challenges log. And then you have access to a fitness library. This is pretty much any exercise you can think of. You can come out here, you can look it up, grab your biceps, and here's nearly every bicep exercise you can do to get stronger and build up that particular muscle group. So that's the fitness side. And then of course you have nutrition. So this is all about eating healthy. You get a food encyclopedia. So learn all about food if you guys aren't good about what you're putting in your bodies. And then you can take pictures of things in your fridge or in your kitchen that's about to go bad. Give it a cuisine type, and it'll give you up to 3 recipes that you can cook with that cuisine type. For example, I recently did chicken thighs, and I did it Italian, and it came up with 3 Italian chicken recipes that I could do to cook my chicken thighs. So that's all out there. I just wanted to point that out for you guys. Super fun app. It's not just about fantasy. It's about taking care of yourself at the same time. Plus you have the news, like I mentioned, you have the player rankings, you have the injury reports. Every single player, it's an individual player profile. We have 3 in-house algorithms that we're working on: the overall fantasy fitness score, the talent score, and the team score. You have all their stats, you have their athleticism card, their team environment card, the videos, positional competition, and then coaching write-ups for every team. Plus some AI insights, and you can compare players too. So maybe you want to compare these 2 guys, CHRS, Christian McCaffrey to Bijan Robinson. Here's your tags. Here's your algorithms. Here's your attempts per game, your yards per game, touchdowns per game. Here's size, speed, explosiveness, agility, team environment rankings. So the whole 9 yards, you get it here with fantasy fitness. So whether it's your health or you're just trying to get the best fantasy football players, we do it all for you guys. Anyhow, I'll stop blabbing. That's enough for today's episode. Appreciate you guys stopping by the channel as always. We'll be back on again before you know it. And until then, be good. Take it easy. Peace.